Once upon a midnight dreary, I was reading, eyes all bleary, over the book A Feast for Crows, the Game of Thrones book, Volume 4. While I read the densely plotted torture horrors held in store, suddenly there came a knocking, coupled with a ghastly squawking, like a choking victim talking, knocking on my dorm room door. "It's some idiot," I muttered, knocking on my dorm room door. "They think they're on a different floor." So distinctly I recall the smell of pot and alcohol, and every empty bottle cast its shadow on my dim decor. Eagerly I wished vacation, vainly I had downed libations, trying to forget my great frustration, sorrow for my bad test score, for the year-end final exam on which I got 24, shameful to me evermore. Then the sound, just slightly drifting in, of my door's handle shifting, gave me such a sudden panic that I grabbed some tabs of Xanax, so that now, to fix the setback of my sudden panic attack, I chose to face the dorm room spook. I stood rebuking, "If you're puking, please choose someone else's door. This I ask and nothing more." Presently my mood relaxed, most likely due to all that Xanax. "Guy," said I, "or girl, or tranny, your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was reading something set in times medieval. Well, not really, it's not Earth, but there are similarities galore. And so weirdly you came knocking on my dorm room door, that I thought you were just wasted. Here I opened wide the door. Linoleum and nothing more." Deep into that hallway peering, long I stood there slightly sneering. Stupid frat guys playing pranks that everybody finds a bore. But the silence was unbroken, save for some kids outside smoking. So the only word there spoken was my whispered word, "Hodor." This I whispered. How much Xanax was that in my dresser drawer? And an echo murmured back the single spoken word, "Hodor." Only this and nothing more. Back into my room I flew, and to my poster of The Who, but pretty soon I heard a knocking somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I am merely quite high, having had some pot and booze and Xanax on this night already. I should go to Betty by and simply dream away this nightmare. When it's light there, this will seem to be a dream that never should have messed with me. I'm simply stressed about that score." But then shook my makeshift curtains, and I knew I must be certain. So I flung my window open, hoping for a frat guy joking. Then, black plumage all on show, in there stepped the three-eyed crow, from the almost positively made-up land of Game of Thrones. Not the least politeness showed he, not a minute stopped or slowed he, but as if a lord or lady from the made-up Game of Thrones, he perched atop my stolen gnome, perched atop my hard-won stolen gnome from that old lady's lawn, perched and stared with not a yawn. Then this ebony bird beguiling my stoned visage into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance he wore, "Though you have an extra eye where none should stare at me," said I, "perhaps I have this thing all backward, and you truly are a blackbird wandering from the Westeros shore. Tell me what your message is from that bedeviled land of yours." Quoth the three-eyed crow, "Hodor." This strange lone crow, his goal unsure, his conduct really quite untoward, spoke only that one word, as if therein his very soul outpoured. Nothing further then he uttered, not a feather did he flutter, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Just a head trip after all. I think I took some Adderall. Once I sleep he'll surely leave me as delusions have before." Then the phantom said, "Hodor." "Jerk," I groused, "some fiend has sent thee, probably that red-haired lady, or that man who's half a tree, or those others waging war." Quoth the three-eyed crow, "Hodor." "Asshole," said I, "tell me one thing. Does this land of Westeros exist, and can I there explore? That would be the best vacation, barring my decapitation. Tell this soul with sorrow laden if this mystic magic nation lies beyond some secret door." Quoth the three-eyed crow, "Hodor." "Be that word our sign of parting, asshole bird," I yelled upstarting. "Anyway, I think you're farting, filling my dorm with noxious gas. Get thee back into whatever wormhole you came flying through. I hope you die and float forever in an endless black morass. And leave no feather as a token of that stupid word you've spoken. Leave my solitude unbroken. Get your ass out through my door." But the three-eyed crow still tarries, all three eyes projecting scary. All three eyes project the scheming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight throws his shadow darkly on my dorm room floor. Oh well, I thought, no demon, vision, myth, or allegoric foe will keep me from my reading Game of Thrones: A Feast for Crows. And thus I laid me down to read, with just a whisper, barely heeded, as I read of Dragon's Roar. Quoth the three-eyed crow, Hodor.